Shalom, shalom, my chaverim. Greetings, my YouTube mishpacha.
What's up, my people?
And welcome, or welcome back, to Bible on a Bicycle.
Life with nothing but a Bible and a bicycle.
My name is Will, and I'm an aspirant follower of Yeshua Hamashiach. You might know him as Jesus Christ. And a word of warning, folks, strap on your helmets and any protective gear you might have before this ride, because we're going to be delving into Michael Heiser exposing the Urantia Book. What is the Urantia Book, you might be asking? Well, it's a huge volume of writing, mostly plagiarized from other sources and compiled together by some folks who claim that some kind of celestial alien came down and revealed the truth to all mankind. Now, throughout the 60s and 70s, that psychedelic era of madness and love, somehow this all gained traction and got quite a cult following, a passionate following, I might add, of believers in this Urantia Book who will defend it tooth and nail. So a word of warning, the comment section might get a little volatile on this one. For all you subscribers and regular visitors, please have patience with these folks. Keep it kind, compassionate, and encouraging. And let's all respect one another's beliefs, no matter whether we agree with their validity or not. Anyway, that's enough of my babbling. I'm going to run it. I'm going to turn this over to somebody who's much more educated than myself and much better spoken than this old man. And that is the late, great Dr. Michael Heiser, as he approaches and exposes the Urantia Book.
Our topic today is a life-changing book. People around the world have testified that after reading it, they were never the same. They had seen the light. Other people, though, have criticized the same book as being utter nonsense and literally not worth their time at all. Now, I know what you're thinking, but I'm not talking about the Bible. I'm talking about a different book, one that's originated in the 20th century. I'm talking about the Urantia Book. Now, you might ask yourself, what in the world is the Urantia Book? It might sound odd, but that is simultaneously easy and difficult to answer. Let's start with the basics. The Urantia Book was published in 1955, and it deals with religious, spiritual, philosophical, and scientific speculations. The book began as a series of papers allegedly received by someone in their sleep who was being contacted by, you guessed it, extraterrestrials. Now, the man with whom the extraterrestrials allegedly communicated to produce ultimately the Urantia Book is still unknown today. In Urantia Book history, he's known as the sleeping subject. He was a male patient of psychiatrist William Sadler. And there were other witnesses to the sleeping subject and what was happening. And they testify that the sleeping subject was not a medium, nor did he channel or automatically write the revelations that would again ultimately become known as the Urantia Book. The sleeping subject spoke in a voice that was not his own. The voice identified itself as a student visitor from another planet. The sleeping subject phenomenon began in 1906. And witnesses included originally Sadler, of course, and his wife, and a few other people, including the sleeping subject's wife. But again, he's unknown even to today. Now, these people became known as the Contact Commission, the small group that actually witnessed what was going on. And eventually, that group, the Contact Commission, became known as the Forum. And the Forum's pretty important in Urantia Book history. It studied the sleeping subject's papers. Sadler insisted that these were written down after sessions by the subject. Again, they're denying automatic writing. The sleeping subject would also respond to questions while asleep. And so these sources, again, the sleeping subject's own sessions, questions later, became the source for the Urantia papers, which would become the Urantia Book. Now, the forum was eventually closed to more members in 1925 to keep it small, and the members took vows of secrecy. They took a pledge to never reveal in detail what was going on in these sessions. Their discussion about, again, the sleeping subjects material and their editing of sleeping subject sessions and papers eventually became what we know today as the Urantia Book, which was published in 1955. What does the Urantia Book say? It's very long, 2,000 pages. You're going to find that the Urantia Book is, to a large extent, a reaction to the Bible. There's lots of space, for instance, detailing what happened with Jesus during the so-called silent years. This is when Jesus was roughly 12 to 30, about which the Gospels say nothing. The Urantia Book has plenty to say there. According to the Urantia Book, the parents of the human race were named Andon and Phanta, and they gave birth to the first human born on earth. Now, if you think about that, what that means is that humans are of some sort of extraterrestrial descent, according to the Urantia Book. There are three trinities in Urantian thought. Jesus was one of many sons of God. He became perfect deity in 7 reincarnations. His death by crucifixion was not necessary to atone for sin. During those silent years, Jesus roamed throughout the Roman Empire, during which he was taught by 2 companions from India. So there's this India-Jesus connection in the Urantia Book. For Urantia, the goal of all life is to reach the spiritual Isle of Paradise. This is sort of the way they would define salvation. And you really get there by self-effort. You study. There's training, again, in Urantian thought. You get divine guidance from maybe the same sorts of extraterrestrials that were guiding the sleeping subject. You devote your life to divine service, and thereby you achieve salvation. Theologically, the Urantia Book shoots a lot at the Bible, as I noted earlier. But it's curious that it doesn't really shoot directly at other religions. And that's suggestive, at least to me. I have to wonder, what is E.T. afraid of about the Bible, that we've got to be, again, shooting at it? But to be honest, the problems really are beyond theology, and that's where we want to focus. Frankly, the origins of the Urantia Book are very suspicious. There's no validation, for instance, as to the circumstances of the sleeping subject. Remember, the forum members were vowed to secrecy, so we don't really know what went on. It's highly suspicious. Frankly, the Urantia Book has a plagiarism problem. Now, that isn't just me talking. Someone who works for the Urantian Foundation has established the fact that a lot of the content was plagiarized in a very detailed analysis, and he has published the results of that analysis online. His name is Matthew Block. The website is urantiabooksources.com. And I want to read you a few excerpts from things he has on the website from 2017 in this case. So it's very recent material. Block writes, for instance, "This website has been created to share my parallel charts, which identify the sources for particular Urantia papers or sections and trace how they were used," unquote. In another place, he says that he pointed out and detected various points of correspondence with various source texts. But in order to fully appreciate the fascinating relationships between the Urantia Book and its sources, you more or less have to see that visually, and that's the way he presents it on his website. He writes further, quote, "In 1993, I discovered that William S. Sadler, the custodian of the Urantia manuscripts, knew more about Urantia Book's sources than he let on. I saw that the bibliography of his 1936 textbook, Theory and Practice of Psychiatry, listed Urantia Book's source books that I had found independently, including Hopkins' Origin and Evolution of Religion." He continues and says, "At the time of this writing, I have identified about 125 books which were used in the writing of some 150 Urantia papers. The source texts were all published in English, and the source authors were, with few exceptions, Americans or Britons born in the 19th or 20th centuries, unquote. Now you might wonder, after all that, what Block, Matthew Block, thinks of the Urantia Book in light of his own research. He works for the foundation. How can he have faith that this book is what it is claimed to be? Well, he tries to address that. He writes the following. He says that the Urantia Book is, quote, a work of restatement, and then adds, again, quote, this work of restatement, which was systematically carried out from the first to last page of the Urantia Book, although certainly not on every page, is a masterpiece of creative literary borrowing, unparalleled in literature, unquote. Now he's trying to make it sound like this lofty literary product, but what it really comes down to, in other words, is the Urantia Book is a work of plagiarism, but it's the best one that Block has ever seen. Now that's hardly good news for its claims about its own origins. Why would extraterrestrials need to plagiarize existing sources? The answer is kind of obvious. They wouldn't, and therefore the whole origin story for the Urantia Book is bogus. Now, I think it's fair to say that any objective person would agree that the Urantia Book is the product of plagiarism. 125 documented sources. Its origins, therefore, are not supernatural. They're not extraterrestrial. Again, why would E.T. need to cheat, need to use sources? If E.T. is so wise and knows all of this history, he doesn't need sources. There are more reasons than that to question the Urantia Book's validity and its teachings.
Hooey, there you have it. That's quite a story, isn't it? Unbelievable what folks might fall for. What do you think about this here Urantia Book? This body of writings. I have nothing against some great fiction. Even Dr. Heiser has some really cool fiction. I might feature that in some future videos. But these folks are taking it as fact. I shouldn't be surprised. I mean, after all, you got the L. Ron Hubbard and Scientology. Woo! The thing that really gets me about the Urantia Book, that offends me personally, as it always does when folks do this, is when they come attacking the Bible or taking from the Bible, trying to portray Yeshua or Yahweh in a way that is just bogus. Bogus. It really gets me passionate and fired up. So, for anyone that's going to be commenting down in those comments down below, please keep it respectful, because anything less won't be tolerated here. I'm not here just to welcome everybody with open arms and let everybody say whatever they want to say. This is where we come together to fellowship, to delve into the pages of our Bibles, and I try my best to respect everyone's viewpoint, but at the same time, I have no problem banning anyone comes on here attacking or being volatile or downright nasty. We just ain't gonna have it. You can go start your own YouTube channel. Do that on your own social media. Now, this isn't for my subscribers or you folks that come here regularly. I know my people. I know my brothers and sisters are patient and kind, but I just felt that it had to be said. But enough of my ranting and raving. Being a referee here, I'd be interested in what you think about this whole Urantia Book. You think there's something to it, or you think it's a bunch of hogwash? It'll be nice, but let me know in those comments down below. And while you're on your way down there to make that comment, you gotta pass that subscribe button. So if you're not already subscribed, why not hit that subscribe button on your way down? Give us a little love with that thumbs up. And of course, make sure to hit that share button. Share this little video with any friends or family members that you think might enjoy or benefit from this video. Hope to see you here next time. And until next time, remember, Yeshua, Jesus loves you. And so do I. Now get off of here, go ride your bike. And instead of the Urantia Book or any other, why not read your Bible?